Here we go. Think about the promises that kept you walking, wandering in time. Oh, hey, oh. Don't you know they kept you walking, kept you wanting, kept you walking. Everybody, here we go. Think about the promises that kept you walking, wandering in time. Oh, hey, oh. Don't you know they kept you walking, kept you wanting, kept you wanting.
I'd say it's going to be a lot of fun, but it's also going to be a hell of a ride. So brace yourself for it, because it's not going to be anything that you expected probably, but it's going to be super cool. You're going to learn a lot, and you're going to ups and downs and all of it. It's all going to be pretty awesome.
That pretty much sums it up, I think.
Yeah.
You know, you have an idea in your head, and then you get out here and it's
Nothing but something else.
Yeah.
And that's in a good way too.
Yes.
Yeah, in a good way. Yeah, it's in both ways. Absolutely. Yeah. You learn a lot. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's kind of a forever learning experience, isn't it?
Yep. Still learning stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I hope that we get to keep doing this for a long time, and I would imagine that each day in the future we're going to keep on learning new things. Yeah.
I'd say automatically it's the audience. It's like now the kids are coming out that are the kids of the kids. That's kind of the coolest, wildest thing to see, you know, having the kids. You probably met them at shows like 15 years ago, maybe even 20 years ago. And they're coming up to you as now 21-year-olds saying, I saw you when I was 6. That blows your mind right away, obviously. And then that's a huge thing. It's awesome that the folks are still coming out and bringing the kids now, the next generation of kids too as well. So that, and obviously the music scene and music business industry, all of it in general has changed catastrophically since the beginning phases of making tapes yourself, passing those out, the age-old story of the early day of promotion with like flyering and tangible, you know, things on street poles, which I think is a beautiful lost art, which sucked, you know, but it's all pretty fly by the seat of the scroll these days. So you lose a lot of the personal touch, it seems. You have to work extra hard to make that happen and make sure that it sticks around as much as possible. If you keep connecting with your people to give a damn about your music and really enjoy it.
I think also it's a privilege that our band is an album-based band. Like people love our band for the diversity of our records and the fact that we can actually go out and play whatever song we want to and people are going to respond. I think that's a very. I'd rather have that than be known for just one song.
Yeah, you've almost got your fan base for album too, like the On the Hamel crew from their second record. You know, the very early stages of that, and then you have the kids way back before any of those albums were out, and then you have obviously the new scale fans too that are the younger generation of just now heard of the band with the latest record, eight albums later, which is kind of cool. You know, it's almost like little categories.
There's pros and cons, I think, to everything. I mean, it was easier when you had a label backing you, but also now with social media, all of us have our own social media outlets that we do the boom, 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 and it's like just get it going. That's like there's pros to that. There's also cons to it.
Perfect. Yeah. I think personally, in every way, honestly, it's like it's kept the dynamic and the authenticity of what the early records and sound like the band were, whatever that was and is. Because it was always a conglomerate of like so many different sounds and the music. To us, it's always been just play what you feel and hear from every individual member that's in the group and just make it a solid piece of music. And I think from that's continued on to now, but we've all just gotten better at our craft of that, as well as like more open-minded. As time goes on, you just keep on getting more open-minded because you want to keep exploring and you want to keep on venturing out and trying, breaking new ground, and just trying to do something you haven't done on the last record. Whether it shell shocks fans a little bit or not, it's exciting because it also introduces them to something new that the band they like is capable of, and that interests them, which interests them in our band in the first place too, I think, you know.
Yeah, man, and we are always meeting new people too. Every year we do multiple tours across several countries, and we run into people that we haven't met before, musicians anyway. And I'm always being inspired by the company around me, and so the more we travel, the more we sort of get inspired musically in that way too.
It's like every tour you're on, there's with a band like ours specifically, I guess, since we do go across a broad board of musical styles, we go on so many different tours. We'll go on a hardcore tour, you know, a hardcore band, and we'll go with a punk band or a ska band or a reggae band. And you're always in that environment, inspired by those. You'll suddenly have ideas in the spring, and by the end you're like, what just happened?
It goes back, and it goes back to what Mikey said. You're always learning.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, I've heard music just from Mike alone that I never would have grasped onto. Or the same with Brandon. Like, we all have so many varied influences that you learn. And it's like, oh wow, I wonder if I could incorporate that into our band. And it's really cool.
Steely Dan.
Yeah.
Steely Dan.
Steely Dan.
We love Steely Dan.
Yes. Thank you.
That's like, it's almost like our inside joke.
Yeah.
As well, day-to-day basis.
Yeah. Brandon and I did a whole 4-hour golf game just listening to Steely Dan the entire 4 hours.
Oh,
It was wonderful.
But there's so many.
Yeah.
I mean, it started as like Mastodon. Obviously, Brandon was a big Mastodon. Now becoming a Mastodon fan because of his influence in the band. You're always constantly playing your own shit in the band. So it's like you're doing the drive shit. You're hearing new stuff. You're like, what is that? Like the other night, we have a playlist we put together, even for at our shows, and people can hear kind of what we're all about throughout the entire night between bands. And you're hearing stuff. I heard one the other night at our own show, and I was like, what band was that? And it was sick. I was like,
Merch
learning
guy
something
found
new.
it. Our merch guy discovered it to us.
Yeah, well,
Do you remember who it was?
Nope. Soft Blow.
Oh,
Yeah.
Soft Blow. Yeah, but check them out, I guess.
I was gonna say, I'll check that out.
They sounded a lot like The Refused to me out of the gate. And that intrigued me a lot. I think they're a brilliant band. And once again, across the board, they're just very eclectic and experimental and intense. And I heard that and it really grabbed my ear. And so that'd be the band. Yeah, that's one that stands out.
In a way that
I think that, I mean, basically, we're very bare bones. We are very DIY. We do our grinding ourselves. We have a merch person, that's it. But I think a lot of when you have bands that have like a large crew of people, that's affecting us. That's a lot of income you're giving out with buses, roadies, all that stuff. And so it does take money. But it's like so far it's been, we're very lucky because we've always been a bare bones DIY band.
Try to keep our costs down so that, it's like we can go out and make a living and do this and be comfortable and not overextend ourselves in ways, it's just smart business, Because you have to treat it like it's like there's the artistic side and it's like you have to wear different hats. And that's one of the things is like don't take it seriously. Take you have to be a professional, creatively and in the business sense. Like you work on your craft, always, but also you have to keep it in the back of your mind. It is a business, and you got to run it as such.
Specifically on the DIY side, leaning toward that things. If you want to see it do well, and just see you keep yourself, sane and also like able to do it consistently, especially with that stuff. Consideration.
You look at bands like Velvet who are the same thing. Steven does his own booking, and also their drummer Casey. It's like handles all the inner stuff, or all that stuff. You basically learn how to do stuff on your own. It's like share your responsibilities. All of us have responsibilities in the band, and I think that helps us a lot. And I think that's why we're one of the few lucky ones that could actually go on tours and not have to worry about canceling stuff. The only thing we have to cancel is when this is out or sick.
Yeah. I think we canceled 3 shows in our entire career. So if that says anything.
There you go. No way.
Yeah, you can just muscle through it as hard as you can, no matter what, really. The kids are coming out, they're expecting it. You get up there and do what you do. You drove a long way to be there, so you do what you can to make it happen.
Yeah, everything when we were what was that, March?
Yeah, March.
Jeff went to jail.
Close voice, for example.
We were in Colorado and we did 40 karaoke.
Yeah, and it became one of the best shows on the tour.
Okay.
People signed up.
Just signed up for songs and we got up there and here's the songs you could choose from, and they got up and sang the song.
Yeah, I was back in the motel, streaming it myself, watching it unfold, and I was like, "This is awesome."
Oh my God, it's already zeroed with one show, just like that, right?
Yeah, dude.
That's the cool thing about us too. We're a very big democracy here. If whoever has the best idea, it doesn't matter where it comes from. We wouldn't have done that without his blessing. It's like make sure we are all on board with what we do and we don't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were the one that wanted us.
That was my idea
Yeah.
too. We did it
Consistent.
a long time back. There was a time when the band got sick, one after the next after the next. It was one night this dude was super sick, so we then pulled the drummer from one of the bands in that tour up to play whatever we could figure out. Next night, my guitar player got sick, so I grabbed the guitar for the 2 songs I could play at that time back in the day, and then we called people up just to play whatever they could play. They could play guitar, and next day bassist would get sick, and then the last day I got sick. And I was like, let's keep this going, karaoke night. So I kind of stemmed the kind of planted the seed, and I was like, well, we did this before. I'm like, I know it's 15 years back, and the kids seem to love it. I'm like, so let's give it a run, and we did, and they were lovely. People flew in for that thing.
Yeah.
People flew in, bought plane tickets to play and signed up to be on the Authorities Era karaoke that night in Colorado.
Fort Collins, yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty brilliant. Yeah, it was fun.
It's a blast.
So you can make it no matter what. Yeah. Get up there on that stage.
Music for Cancer, Punk Rock Holiday.
Yeah, those two are really awesome.
Great.
Rock Rock.
I mean, Black Rock is always great.
Europe's got a lot of great ones. These are a lot of the European ones we're naming off, and obviously Canada as well. Redbridge as well. That was really cool. A lot of fun, man. Not a lot of huge festivals in the States, it seems like. That I can think of that we've played that really stand out as like, oh shit, right on. But there are a lot of them. Maybe we haven't performed at them yet. But I know there are some big ones around that can still participate.
There's a really special one in a German town that I can't pronounce, unfortunately.
Oh yes, I know what you mean.
But it's a little festival. It's in the forest, and it's kind of a camping thing, like a 2-day. It's called KNRD Fest, Comrade Fest, and it's wonderful because they've been doing it for a few years now, and they say that they're actually not interested in growing it. They like what they have. It feels like family. You've still got someone's aunt and someone's mom in the kitchen, and they're making like homemade style food for the bands, and it just feels very welcoming, and it's still like a great party, but they're not trying to capitalize on it and turn it into something huge. They really like what they have, and I think that's cool. And they invited us to do it 2 years ago, was it now? Mm-hmm. And we hope to see them again. There's like a little thing like that they're doing. It's just, I think it's special.
Europe has got, I feel like they really have Savannah, obviously, is another great festival. It's like, you have the mom and pops all day, it's huge festival. What was the one with the highest?
Oh yeah.
Vinyl Sounds.
Vinyl Sounds go too.
Yes.
Awesome. Resurrection.
Oh, Resurrection's right around Spain.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
There's just so bad. I mean, we're forgetting a lot. Because
there's one great one in Southern California called First Skateboard. It's so good. You gotta check it out. Shameless plug.
We'll check it out.
I'm just kidding.
Were you sponsored by Earth Skateboards?
No, Earth Skateboards is my company. So
fair enough.
We throw a festival once a year for Earth Day to raise money for organizations. And it's involved in skateboarding, and it's like a mini little backyard warp tour.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
That's a lot of fun.
We played it one time to kind of break it in, and then we had brought other bands in.
Yeah, got that.
Last year. Our band played it the year before.
We did. That was the first one. We tried to break it in. They helped us out. We helped us out.
We helped.
Making a choice to take a different road.
I'll be there first. I don't know. I feel like I always say I'm gonna be able to live forever, and I try and take better care of myself. So I'll probably be the person to die, and he'll live throughout the entire apocalypse.
We laugh because they all eat very, very healthy, and he doesn't drink anything. I'm the most unhealthy guy in the world, but I don't get sick at all. So I mean, maybe the zombies might try to eat me. No, you're disgusting.
Yeah, I might go first because I eat a lot of candy now, but I don't drink, so I'll probably be the sweetest. Tasting. I just got the pound of sugar. Just get on it, man.
Brandon will probably be the last one because he's
gonna survive it.
He'll survive this.
See, I feel like I'm gonna go, but in a way that's totally unrelated to the impending zombie apocalypse around me. Like there'll be all these reasons for me to go.
You'll die like tetanus.
Yeah.
It's like being shocked.
Not too sure. Breathing the wrong part. Zombie part.
Well, thank you guys very much for sitting down with us. Have an amazing set tonight.
Thanks for having us, dude.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Appreciate it, man.
The joy